All right, we're on. What's up, Internet, and welcome to Untried Genius. I'm your Untried Genius Dre. Today we have Amazing Beta, a good friend and artist from the old days.
Hello.
All right, what's up, man? How goes it?
Then why you gonna flex like we weren't just talking for like 40 minutes before we recorded?
Hey, man, everybody talk before they record, man, but you gotta put some posturing on for
Yeah, yeah, got to pretend like we official.
'em. You
Um,
gotta pretend.
everything is well. Everything is well besides my sleep cycle. But yeah,
That's just not gonna be good for anybody right now. Most people stuck at home. I'm not stuck at home, and I'm still not sleeping right.
I ain't stuck at home. I ain't stuck at home either, but you know what I'm saying? Like the places I used to enjoy, such as like live music venues and shit like that, that's not really open. Like they've been legally allowed to be open, but
Mhm.
all of the artists, you know what I'm saying, they've all rescheduled their shit months and months down the line. So they
Right.
all that virtual bullshit. And I'm like, if I wanted to see some shit online, I just stream your music regularly. That,
Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think I've been to a live event since this thing started and since before it started. So
you
I
you
don't
never
know.
been a club person from what you done told me. You said you
Nah,
don't
bro.
like clubs and you said you don't like roller coasters.
Nah, bro. I never been on no clubs. I ain't never been on no roller coasters. But I mean, if I had a chance to go to a concert and it wasn't like super costly, I would be for it. I ain't trying to be in the nosebleeds, but
It depend on it depend on who you like because like I done had some where it's like moderate where it's like standing floor. I believe I seen Melanie Martinez with my little brother, and then I think I might have paid like 40-ish per person, and that's pretty reasonable given her stardom level
right.
versus this other band that I used to like in high school called Incubus. I wanted to see them, but I seen their ticket prices. It was like $100 a person. I'm like, look, I like you, but nigga, your sounding probably changed. I don't even
Right.
know what you
Hey,
play. Like, fuck
damn.
it.
Well, $100. I mean, Melanie Martinez, what's that like? B plus, A minus for his like
Yeah,
popularity?
I like to say she what you call it? Like B list, maybe B list celebrity, maybe.
Yeah.
She not
So
like a household name like that, you know what I'm saying? But she
right.
she up there.
Yeah, she had got canceled for a minute, because she had some allegations on her. And then
Bro,
turned
man.
around. That was a while ago. That was like 2 years ago. She
Yeah,
got canceled.
I remember I looked into that and I was like, that's some shady shit. I don't know if I believe it or not
It was
because you
lies.
know
It turned out to be
sometimes
lies.
it was cap.
Yeah.
See, that's why I was like, I don't know how to take it because a lot of these hoes just looking for clout and it's just like really sad that you know what I'm saying they'll trade up on their best friend as she called her. You know what I'm saying? Your best friend and said she forcefully ate my coochie. Like no, and I'm like, bruh, how you gonna sell out your dog? Like, and if it's your best friend, even if they ain't giving you money, just you being around them, chances are you probably doing okay. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If they your best friend, you not eating dirt, you know what I'm saying, struggling
Right.
extra hard if they your best friend. Like,
Right, man. You know how they do it. They'll switch up on you real quick when they feel like it's advantageous for them though. So you gotta watch out for them folks.
I will give the accuser credit for one thing, for not waiting 20 years and shit, like what they doing to all these politicians. That
Yeah.
shit killed me.
Yeah,
20 years late.
yeah, man. They got Jimmy Kimmel now. Not for that though. They got him for
Black
blackface.
man, oh man, I
But
can't stand these motherfuckers. Like it
they
always be like the goddamn like the super left, you know what I'm saying, like liberal Democrat types who really be having the most skeletons in their closet. Like
yeah.
that one Virginia, I forgot what he was, but that nigga did blackface for like fucking high school or like a college costume party and
Right,
he
right.
made
I know what you're talking about.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, they be preaching, oh, we're with the people, this and that. Meanwhile, they mocking them, wearing costumes. We get Joe Biden. You ain't black if you ain't voting for me. I'm like, the ball. The balls on
Right. Right. And I mean, they out here saying all this mess about, oh well, these companies that donated to Trump, we shouldn't support them anymore.
I seen that.
Meanwhile, literally the guy on the opposite end of Trump is he's telling you doesn't have to do a thing for your vote. All he has to do is show up. And as long as you look like this,
They
your
just
butt is
assume
gonna
they
vote
got
for
to
him.
vote. They got to stop playing like that. They got to stop playing that like you just automatically got the black vote. The
Right.
tide is changing.
Right.
I don't
Because
know how fast it's changing, but I am seeing the tide is changing. Like
right.
people just looking around, like shit ain't changing because we keep on voting blue and shit still look terrible.
Right, because the bigger people are starting to voice their opinions. The Diddy's and the Killer Mikes, they starting to put they 2 cents out there, and they starting to say even though they not switching sides, what they are
Yeah,
saying
they saying
is
you need to offer us something.
right. They are saying, hey, this is a transaction now. It's turning every set of years, it's gonna turn into more and more of a transaction from the black community, and
That
that's
that
what I
what it
like to
should
see.
be. That what it should be. You should at least try
Yeah.
and look what you got to offer. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got nothing to offer us, we'll fucking what we should do. We should be dangling that vote. Guess what? I might vote for the other side. You ain't
Right.
trying to offer nothing.
Well, so I
Well,
heard the CEO of BET floated the idea of a Black Lives Matter party not too long ago too.
I haven't heard about that one, but like, what would that entail? Would that entail just them fucking up the BET Center where the
I
party at?
mean, I mean, from where I could tell, it would just be, basically specific black leaders coming together to put our interests at the forefront. The only issue is that Black Lives Matter doesn't necessarily represent my interests. Like I
Boy,
want to
man,
I want to
don't
see
make me bring out the bullet points.
like I want to see like a lot of the things that they have that they want taken care of for us, not the organization, but the people on the ground. The organization is evil.
You got to
The
clarify that.
organization,
You got to
yeah,
clarify
the
that. That
organization is just a
organization
bunch
cat.
of communist, socialists,
Don't forget fucking,
anti-family.
don't forget fucking lesbians, bro. I went on their website, and on their website it said something along the lines of "We're here to disassemble the fucking patriarchy."
Right,
And it was at that
anti-family,
moment you lost me. You lost
right,
me. You're
and,
excluding black fathers. You lost me.
right, anti-family, anti-man.
Oh
The
yeah,
organization, the
all
actual
that shit.
organization is just a far left crux. But Black Lives Matter, the movement, they want, like, I can say I want the same things as them, but I don't want them the same way they want them. And that's the big issue that I keep having with them is that I can't sit here and I can't be on the streets yelling Black Lives Matter when I go out there and I see what they stand for and I see what the movement is about. I can't do it. Defund the police, nah.
Uh-uh.
Maybe take some of that
Whoa.
money out, but I don't give it back to
Yeah,
me. I don't
yeah,
want it. I
exactly.
don't want.
Like,
I don't want it going anywhere else in the government
they
because the
they know
government's not
not they
efficient.
know not what they do. They know not what they do, bro.
Right.
Like you ever seen the one meme where it's like the fucking like the government is just fucking a super genius when it comes to ways to find out how to tax you. But when it
Right.
comes to actually spending that money, it's just like a nigga with a fucking nail in his
Right.
head, just
And the,
lost in the sauce.
right.
So
And the
yeah,
funny.
we don't need to be fucking allocating it to other government programs because I learned some shit I ain't even think I was supposed to know when Trump originally shut down the country when he put us on like whatchamacallit, when he paused the government a
Hmm.
while ago. I read something and it said that yeah, all the non-essential government programs have been paused. I was like, wait, we got what? We got non-essential programs that
Yeah.
just
They
funneling money?
they consider certain things non-essential, just like how they consider certain jobs non-essential. You know. But the thing
Nah,
is, like,
yeah, we got some bullshit in there and that just don't need to be funded.
I
Like, and
mean,
also once a government program starts, they never shut it down. They just
almost
funnel
never.
more money. They like this program ain't being utilized. Then they just throw more money into it.
Right.
And then fucking what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean the the ideas that they have, some of them are good though. For instance, having like in Atlanta specifically, they've had the idea of, we still have cops. We don't defund the police, but what we do is that we have certain like social workers or certain people
Yeah,
trained, to go out there with the cops,
I
and
heard
they are
Beamer
not
was talking about
armed.
that.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, I heard
think
Beamer
that's
put the idea around. He had said that, a civil guard, as he called it, for
mhm,
like the fucking non-lethal issues, like dumb stuff like traffic tickets and stuff like that. He was
right.
like, you designate that to the non-lethal force, and then, you fucking retrain the cops to just, handle the disturbances like fucking public fights and shit like that.
Right. And but the issue there is it's when what happens when a non-lethal issue turns lethal. That's really why cops carry
Like
guns.
I mean, like I'd
That,
assume that what I'm saying, like the civil guard they send out would still be trained in self defense. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like they maybe have a baton. You know what I'm saying? Maybe have like a baton or something. I want to say that all cops should like by default just have rubber bullets in, and then
Right.
what I'm saying, and if the case like they start shooting, like they start shooting real bullets, you fucking drop that shit and you put in the real bullets. That's what I think. As much as people bitching about rubber bullets, they hitting, civilians with rubber bullets. I'm about to say you're surviving though,
Right.
versus all these other people who
All
got
these
real bullets
deaths.
and ain't allowed to talk about it.
Right. And the issue that, like you said, the issue that they have in rubber bullets is that they're like, man, they're so big and this and that, but it's like they're big because they need to be blunt so that they can hit you and not
Yeah,
kill you.
yeah,
So
that
they
was.
have to be big.
That's what I'm saying. Like you better take that rubber. The alternative is metal, and
Right.
that shit all types of different.
Right. That's the difference between life and death for a lot of people. Rubber bullets
Exactly.
can still kill you, but it's a very
Yeah,
low chance in comparison.
yeah, chance is a lot less because the cops are trained to shoot for center mass, not to shoot you in your fucking face.
Right. I mean, my thing is though, with these, just like with these cops killing people, right? It's like, why are you shooting? Why are you killing people? Why don't you aim for? I mean, if they really want people not to die, at this point, they should be advocating, hey, look, if you're gonna shoot somebody, shoot them in the leg. You know, shoot them somewhere. Like it might be harder to hit them there, but shoot them somewhere where more than likely they won't die from that bullet,
I
because
mean,
it's getting to the point where it doesn't matter what the person was doing. It doesn't matter if they had a gun, if they had a weapon of any kind, that the cops are wrong for shooting them. They didn't deserve to die. That's the mindset now. So at this point, it's just like, look, just look out for yourself. Shoot them in the leg. I don't care. It is what it is. They turn out crippled or something, can't walk no more. That is what the people want at this point. Like,
yeah, but like the thing is with shooting in the leg, they train to shoot center mass, and also you got to imagine like the fucking heat of the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone is threatening said officer's life, you know what I'm saying? They want to take you down.
right,
Okay, for example, what's the person who was shot at the Wendy's?
Ray
A lot
Charles,
of people
Brooks.
yeah, a lot of people like to say, he was fucking taking a nap. Like you can't even nap in a Wendy's drive-through without getting shot. And I feel bad for those people because they haven't been shown the whole context. Yeah, they
Right.
talking cordial and stuff. What happened was he was strong. He got both of the officers
He
down,
overpowered two
and
people.
yeah, he wrestled both of them off, snatched one of the tasers, and I heard he was just like running back and then, tried to aim and hit one on with a taser. He missed, but still, you the
Yeah,
officer, you trying to get up, chase this man, you know what I'm saying? You taking aim, like you trying to take him down. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
real hard.
Especially,
Yeah, like after you just got your ass whooped, you know what I'm saying? You like, I'm about to get this man. I'm not trying to like fucking let me pop him in the knee. You
I,
know what I'm saying?
I see
Pop
what
in
you're
the knee
saying.
is real hard. Cause like a lot of people like to say, cops need retraining and stuff like that. I'm for it. Don't get me wrong, but they still
Right.
people. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Think about how the average person treat just somebody who got their food wrong.
Right.
Now give that person a gun. You gave me broccoli instead of carrots, nigga. Like,
I mean, the issue that I have with the narrative that they're trying to set up around this whole thing is that, hold on, can you hear me? There we go. Okay.
yeah.
That my audio was broke for some reason. I had muted my mic, I guess. But the issue I have with the narrative that they're trying to set up around this whole thing is that he not only handled the both of them, he was cordial the whole time up until they
Mm-hmm.
went to arrest him. And they're trying to say, well, they didn't tell him what he was getting arrested for. Well,
Yeah.
before they could even put cuffs on him, it was 3 seconds. You can count it. The same way they count that it was a 41-minute interaction, even though that interaction was split up into like 5 parts. Even they try to say it was a 41-minute interaction, but the interaction was split up into maybe 3 to 5 parts, right? But the
Yeah.
same way that they can say that, you can say that it was only 3 seconds between them telling him to put his hands behind his back and him fighting him. So in that 3 seconds, they supposed to tell him what he getting arrested for. In that 3 seconds, they would have had to tell him what he getting arrested for first before telling him to put his hands behind his back. And even then, how would telling him what he getting arrested for change the mind of a drunk person in any
It
way?
wouldn't. It wouldn't. I watched a video by a gentleman by the name of Anthony Brian Logan, and
Hmm.
he found out that that person whatchamacallit, they were on parole or something.
Right.
And so if you know what I'm saying, if he would have went to jail, he would have, stayed in
Stayed in
jail.
jail, right?
That's why he decided to go and fight. But like I don't know what to say about that because like he ain't want to fucking go back. Like I can't really justify it. I'm like, nigga, it's jail or death. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like,
And to me, the my main thing is that as soon as he grabbed that taser, and not even when he grabbed it, but when he pointed it, at the point where he pointed that taser, to me, it was like almost a forfeiture of
yeah,
life. And
yeah,
it's
for
kind of
real.
it's kind of hard. It's like if he didn't like even if he took the taser and he just ran off with it and it was gone,
Uh-huh.
I would have said, hey, they shouldn't have killed him. But as soon as he pointed that
Yeah, as soon
taser,
as
I
he aimed
can't
it,
take
he
his
got
side.
it.
I can't take
Yeah,
his side.
it's hard to take his side. Like yeah, you done roughed him up, stole something, and then a potentially lethal weapon you just tried to shoot. You
Right,
missed, but still, like it's like yo, what the
right,
fuck? You know what I'm
and
saying? I can't justify it. I want to be on your side.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like the other nigga, the fucking jogger, as they call
Mhm.
him, jogging through the neighborhood. As I've seen from like most of the videos, they say they was following him, and they didn't shoot until he reached for the weapon. Like I'm a little more conflicted on that one because like let's say he did steal something, okay, and it's still two people following you. It's two people following you who are armed and armed in
Right.
hand. You know what I'm saying? Like what do you feel like? You know what I'm saying? These
You
niggas
gonna you
want
gonna try to
something.
fight them, right?
You,
And
yeah,
that's
that's
the
what I'm
thing.
saying.
Like
Nobody like what do you do? Just thinking about human instinct. You like shit, man. I can't
right,
fucking outrun this car. They keep saying, "Hey, let me talk to you." It's a nerve wracking situation. So I have a little more sympathy for him, even though he tried to grab the gun. You know what I'm
right.
saying? I have a little more sympathy for him.
And I think, and looking at the video, I think he genuinely got shot in the struggle, not necessarily on purpose. I think he genuinely got shot like in the fight for the gun.
Yeah,
He got
that that
shot.
that it is when he got
And
shot.
and the thing is, I think that the two people that were chasing after him, they were trying to do something right, but with no
Trying to do
substantial
Batman.
right, but exactly. But I don't play vigilanteism. It's the same reason why I think George Zimmerman should be in jail right now because I don't play vigilanteism. I think the
Yeah,
only time you
that's
can play
yeah,
the only time you
man.
can play vigilante is if you see a gun in somebody's hand and they getting ready to use it on somebody else that's not that's innocent. That's the only time you get to play vigilante. So if you see a pistol and if somebody pull a pistol or an AK or whatever out and they go to start shooting up the grocery store, or they go to start shooting up the church, let them go. They gotta go. But for you to bring guns to a confrontation where someone is, you have the right to, of course, but you got to use your sense. You got to use your common sense. So to bring guns to a confrontation where somebody is unarmed and they're moving through the neighborhood, and multiple of you anyway. Why do you have to bring a weapon if it's multiple of you?
Yeah, if you really wanted to, talk to him and stall
Right.
him, holding a gun to his head, that's not gonna make him want to be stationary.
Right. And
And it's gonna make him want to flee. Like, man, I don't want to sit here and talk to you. I'm fucking nervous.
right. And
So
so initially I was kind of conflicted on it for a while, but now I'm at the level where I can say, yeah, just they gotta go. It's not the best look, and I don't like the hate crimes bill that came out of it because I don't believe that there's such
yeah,
thing as a hate crime.
I
I
don't,
think
I
that
don't.
a crime is a crime and that the justice system should just scale. So if they needed 25, if they needed 25 for his death instead of 20, they just give him 25, you don't have to add a charge because he black, because that's what's gonna happen. And the thing is, with these hate crimes bills, what's gonna end up happening is it's gonna become a real weird slippery slope thing where
It's
black DAs are gonna charge white people because they killed black
minority.
people.
As soon as
Right,
it's minority on minority, like, whose side do you take? You know
right,
what I'm saying? Then it becomes it's oppression Olympics, as the
right.
people on the internet say,
Right, and
because
it'll be
like,
whoever has the political power. That's who's gonna get the crime. So if a Hispanic man was to kill a black man and you got a black DA, then more than likely that Hispanic man is gonna get a hate crime charge on him. But if the black man killed the Hispanic man with a black DA, you wouldn't see that charge unless the judge brought that charge.
yeah, that's what I don't like. Like, I don't think we should even have like a fucking hate crime in general, because like who fucking cares if I kill someone because they're white? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would that constitute 25 years versus if I just killed someone who was black and I'd probably get 20? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So, like, what's up? What's up with that? It was the same crime, but because it's suspected to be motivated by someone's race, did that sound come on your side?
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay.
The only
But yeah,
sound I'm hearing is this cat in the box playing around in the box.
yeah, I don't fuck with the hate crime thing because it just ain't right. Because if you get into any accident with someone of a different race, it can be leveraged against you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It don't really matter what. They'll find a way. Well, as you can see, my client is this race and that client is that race. So clearly there was some extra hate involved in it. Like, it's silly.
Right. And I think talking about race is a good segue into kind of moving into the idea that where we are now, right? We're in this weird climate where since these
It's a
um
leak. Like,
right, since these consecutive deaths have been publicized, not necessarily like they wouldn't have happened without the internet. They probably still would have happened, but they wouldn't have been publicized without the internet. And we probably
yeah,
wouldn't have so much uproar
if it
without the
wouldn't have
internet.
gotten if shit wouldn't have hit the internet, shit would have never popped off. Like, from
Right.
when fucking Aubrey, I think that's the nigga who got shot, who's fighting them dudes with the
Hmm.
shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that would have never hit the internet, it would have been, a fizzle. It would have just
Right.
fizzled out. Because from what I heard, like, it happened 4 months from the time it was uploaded. So,
Yeah.
like, 4 months of just, you know what I'm saying? I'm sleep. I ain't hear shit about it.
Well,
Then it
they
hit
was
the internet.
they
Hit
was
the internet.
passing it around. Even I think because, and this is maybe just me being optimistic, because I also personally, like, when they say such and such was killed by these folks, I think in a lot of these cases they don't that people don't see the fact that these are these are kind of like inconspicuous, and and that you if any of these things that you say that happen, you can go online and you can find an identical video, if not around the time that it happened, maybe a few years before it, and I in an eerily identical video you can find it of a white person having that same kind of death. So it's
And
not
nobody cares.
nobody
Nobody cares.
cares,
Like it ain't
and
happened.
so it's not that. But what I'm saying is with this Arbery case, I think that eventually the GBI would have got called in anyway, because eventually it would have gotten to somebody that's not connected to that wasn't connected to McMichael. It would have gotten to somebody that said we need to go ahead and hand this up, you
Yeah,
know.
but it
So
probably
whoever
would have.
I'm wondering who released the video.
Oh, you
That's
you
what I'm
want to know what
interested
you
in.
want to know what's real sad?
Yeah.
The poor gentleman who recorded this, just for clarity, that nigga got sentenced.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's about, oh, he was abetting him, but I'm like, he was just recording a
That's
video.
what
How
I'm
was he
saying. I'm
helping?
about to say he was recording the shit for transparency. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? To prove, like fuck his he said, she said, just watch the video and decide for yourself. But he is getting charged. I was like, why would you do that? If you charging people for recording, you're setting the precedent for,
right,
what I'm saying, nobody to record, and
right.
then it's
And
just,
that's
you just waiting on who witnessed it and their testimonials.
right, and that's the thing. Now, he's getting charged for recording, but nobody that was there for George Floyd is getting charged for recording or for watching, because
That what I'm saying. Like,
they're not complicit because they're not cops apparently. Even though they had apparently the same way, if they would want to put the case that he had the potential to intervene, they can say the same thing. I'm saying if that's the case that they would want to play, right? You could say the same thing for anyone that was there in the George Floyd case. Now, my thing is that, in like for instance, like I think cases like Breonna Taylor show glaring problems with our police system. They show that things like
I
no
haven't
knock.
seen it, but I've heard of it. Can
Yeah,
you
well,
give me a refresher of it?
I don't think there's a video necessarily, but essentially the case
Give
is
me
that they some cops pulled up on somebody's house for a drug raid, right? And they
uh-huh.
were sleeping, and they just hit the door down, they just raided the house without announcing themselves. No, hey, police, nothing. And even if they did, they try to claim they did, but if they did a little, hey, police, hey,
Yeah, they
police, right? And
they
so
wanted
when they came in, it's just a little couple in the apartment. So
uh-huh.
the boyfriend or husband, like her significant other, he pulled his
Yeah.
gun and he went blasting. And they tried to charge him at first, but he got off. Now they dropped those charges, but they tried to charge him because he shot an officer. But then but the cops, they were shooting, they shot so much that they killed the woman in the bedroom while she was sleeping and shot her 8 times. The man with
Damn.
the gun didn't get hit once, as far as I know. But the woman in her bedroom, and that's as far as I know. That part, if anybody watching and listening, if you have information on his injury or if he got shot, let me know. But as far as I know, he didn't get hit. But somehow, Breonna Taylor was hit 8 times and killed. And that's just ridiculous to me. I think first of all, you shouldn't be able to go into anywhere with without prior warning. It's one
Yeah,
thing if
no knock warrants.
right,
That is not the move.
right. No, it's not the move at all. And I think it's a big issue that they think that any jurisdiction or any police department thinks that it's okay to enter an area with no with no sort of noise or no sort of warning. Now they started to say that, oh yeah, they were trying to catch a specific person, or that apartment was supposed to be housing the drugs, but the guy that they was looking for, he was already in custody. So why does that matter?
Bro,
If
what
you're
the
looking for
fuck?
the drugs, give a knock, say, hey, we got a warrant to search this place, and let that be it. Because guess what? When you get ready to go in there, unless when you knock, and first of all, knocking in they sleep, that means it was late at night. you can't go in there. You know, you going in there late at night like that. Nobody gonna hear you anyway unless you just don't. You know, you own the door, and I think that sometimes these officers don't take those kind of precautions because they think that they run it, and and the big
Yeah.
picture here is that it's not an issue of black or white. It's the issue of militant state. That's what it's an issue of. It's an issue of the police are too militant, and they're militant because we gave them that power. Because and the thing is, like they keep trying to say, like they like I said earlier, they're saying, oh yeah, we're gonna boycott all the places that supported Trump. But the funny thing is, all these places that this stuff is happening in, it's Democrat run
Democratic run
places.
areas.
Right. The and the thing is, and I'm talking the cop specific stuff for anybody who wants to say, oh well, Ahmaud Arbery was in a Republican area with Republicans, et cetera, et cetera. Ahmaud Arbery was vigilantism. It was wrong, and that's it, right? But when it comes to these cop cases, when it comes to George Floyd, when it comes to Breonna Taylor, these are Democrat run areas. Louisville, and and Minneapolis are Democrat run cities, Democrat run legislatures, Democrat,
Cops don't even exist in Chicago.
right. And that's the thing is, everywhere where black people are suffering the most are run by Democrats. Meanwhile, Atlanta is the closest thing to Wakanda we actually have in this world. You might not, you know, if you
I saw T.I. say that on the goddamn council with Keisha Lance Bottoms.
right, and because
I thought that was funny because like yeah, it's true, but it's a very specific circumstance because the state is red. Atlanta is just a fucking chocolate center.
soccer,
It's a chocolatey liberal center.
and it's blue.
Yeah, Atlanta is just like the blue dot in the middle of
Right.
the red state.
But the thing is, the current mayor though, and I can say
Uh,
that for most Atlanta mayors, they aren't they aren't progressives. They're moderates for the most part. They kind of float the line. I think Keisha Lance Bottoms, if she was to be the VP candidate for Biden right now, I would actually give it a look because I know whoever becomes the VP is going to
it's
be the
gonna be
real
the
president,
president. Biden gonna
right?
fucking die in office,
Biden
bro.
is. I'm not even gonna say that. I think
All I'm
that
saying is,
Biden
if
is
he
a
were to win,
proxy. Biden is the fake. It's the fake head because they need to be able to get somebody in easily, right? And the easiest way to do it is to use the Obama name and then the Biden name, and then the Obama name through Biden, right?
yeah, that's what I heard. That like that's the only reason people really consider him because they think of Biden, they think of Obama,
Obama,
and how everything was good and
right,
shit was really mid. It was really
right,
mid, but
and
because their guy was in, they was like, oh shit is great just because
right,
their guy
and
was in.
and the thing is, his record isn't great at all for us.
His
His
record was
Biden's record with
anti-black.
us, exactly. Biden's record with us is anti-black. He's went for multiple bills
He
that
didn't even
would get
apologize for
rid
the
of
crime bill.
right that would get rid of crime. That would basically attack us for our crime rates. Basically, and the thing is the crime rates are due to poverty. So he's attacking poverty. He's criminalizing poverty even more so than it already is.
You
And
already do. You already do that, bro, with our bail system.
right,
You
and
can't get out unless if you poor.
well, in Atlanta, the bail system was kind of vetoed in a way. They got rid of it. And there's some areas in the state that they've already gotten rid of that bail system, which is a
Well, that's
it's
good.
I think it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing because it's like you criminalizing poverty if you keep it, but also you're making it easy for people who consistently commit crimes to get out. So
Yeah,
unless they put
I
like a
heard
three
about
strike
that.
limit on it or something, it's
I
not
heard
it's
they did that in New York, and then like it turned into fucking catch and release when
right.
they tried it in New York.
Right. And so that's the thing. So the only way to actually help it would be to like put a limit on it, you know? So like, oh, let me three times, three strikes, you're out. After that,
Hmm.
it's you actually have to be actually have to pay a bail because you keep stealing. There's only so many times we can let you go for free. You
Well,
know.
speaking of which, about that, it's on the same subject. Have you heard about that one video where like this nigga was arrested 100 times and then he just like pushed over an old white lady for no reason? Have you heard about that one? Like the
No.
man had been like arrested 100 times and was still on the street. Nigga was like 30.
What?
I was like, how y'all let this nigga back on the streets? 100 times? He's been arrested 100 times.
Wow. I mean, and if there's anything that you see or that you think that the people need to see, we can easily just get on Google Chrome or whatever and do a quick little screen share or whatever. Just give me a link and I can do a quick little screen share of it, and we can let them look at it because some
Yeah.
people don't. Some people don't believe. Some people don't. Some people need that visible evidence and for the listeners, I'm gonna make sure that I put some of these links in the show notes, or I'll put like a big link with all the any evidence for some of the stuff we're talking about in the show notes. That way, if you want to see it, you can see it.
You said send it to you through what?
I say you can either just send it to me, like send it to me through Instagram if you want, and then I can just bring it up on Chrome and then
Let me
just screen share it or anything like that.
let me see something. Uh, hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can just send it to you through Skype.
All right, because I mean, this it's kind of getting to a point where people don't want to, if they see something that contradicts their views, they don't really want to hear it. They don't really want to see it. It's an echo chamber out here now, so I'm glad to share this information, share any information you had to provide, because I want people to be educated. I don't want people to just listen to us talk and think that, oh yeah, it just showed up, and just think that we just saying something. I want to be able to educate folks, and they
Yeah,
can
I
they can
tried
see what
like
we're talking
sending it.
about.
I see like the arrow still out there.
Yeah, I got it right here. I'm looking
You
right at it
see it?
right now. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Let's see what it says. Man accused of shoving elderly woman in New York City has been arrested over 100 times since 2005. Wow. Um,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
let's see if I can share this screen with the folks right here. Man, what is up with these ads?
If
Ads for
it's
mass, ads for what? Stop seeing this ad. Not interested. Some of these ads are ugly, man. Just delete some of these ads over here, but yeah, and shoot, that's another conversation right there. Them ads, boy. Google is on you, boy. I think I looked up mass maybe like once, and
you don't have to. It's just what's trending right now. Like all
yeah,
of the mad shit like that is trending.
right. And people have been talking about mass for a minute too, so it makes a lot of sense. Let me just pull this out and make it its own page. That way, when I share it, it'll be easy to just boom, share screen. Let's just share the screen right here. All right, can you see it?
Oh shit, boy, what? How the hell you do that?
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool.
That's
So,
crazy.
um, so yeah, I mean, it says man accused of shoving elderly woman in New York City has been arrested over 100 times since 2005.
That's what I'm
And,
saying. See, that's the downside to if you goddamn get rid of bail. You get shit like that. You get shit like that where a nigga just go back out and then just what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
and this is a pretty horrible scene right here too. I mean, it's what's this 2012? They give his record. They give some of the things
Yeah,
he's done
sex offended,
three times in
exposing
2020.
himself in Harlem. This man was beaten off on the subway.
Man,
Bro, what?
all right, and like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take this link and I'm gonna put it in the show notes so that people can see, because it's insane. I mean, and if you want to watch the videos right here as well, I probably wouldn't advise it unless you got a strong constitution though. But I
Strong
mean, it's
constitution.
stuff like that, and that's the thing. Like, it's like when you try to do good by people, it's the kind of stuff they do. So it's kind of
Yep.
so you kind of understand. So you kind of have to understand when they try to get tough on crime and when they try to. But at the
Yeah.
same time, they just go too far with it, man. They go way too far with it. I mean,
Speaking of crime, I have not got around to it yet, but I was going to try and get mushrooms like decriminalized in
right,
Georgia. I wanted to try and do that. I haven't really gotten around to making the call yet, but I
right,
did find out, just like I'm supposed to talk to my what the fuck was it? Senator,
hmm
Senator, I
or
think.
like a congressperson.
Yeah, David Scott. Yeah, that's
Oh,
that.
okay.
When I went to the police station, they said that's who you talk to if you want to try and change the drug law.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
gonna just pull up that whatchamacallit, pull up the website on like how Colorado did it, pull up
Right.
their website and just take a couple points.
I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, no, just tell me about that. Tell me about like what's your
Um,
reasoning behind that? Like
my, my
what kind
reasoning
of
behind my reasoning behind it is I don't have any stats, but I can almost bet it's less than 20 people who've ever been arrested for mushrooms. And also they're not really like addictive like that. You know what I'm saying? If you
Mhm.
ever hear about someone doing like, a violent crime or something like that, it's never really anything that falls under the psychedelic category. You know what I'm saying? If it does, it's usually that combined with some other drug.
All right.
Yeah, and so like for that reason, like I don't believe that should carry the same sentence as something as like heroin or like meth or whatever. Like that's not really inherently hurting anyone.
Right, I see what
Especially
you're saying.
it's also it's like it's one of the things you can grow. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like
Hmm.
it can't be that fucking bad. You can grow it in your backyard. Like the United States has seemed to come to a census with that about weed. Well, anyone can grow it, and we've managed to get it legalized in all of the states. Not on the same level, but it's all been legalized. The CBD format, anyways. They just
Right,
took away the portion where you get high from it.
right,
So we're in agreement with that. And also fucking like poppy seeds and shit like that, nigga. We got fucking opioid pills, all that good shit. That seems to be pretty damn good. That's pretty fine and legal. So why not legalize psilocybin mushrooms? Like there's less, you know what I'm saying? There's like less harm that'll be done. It'll be more good. And it's also pretty good for rehab. Uh
hmm
this part isn't particularly proven, but when people do psychedelics, you know what I'm saying, it usually expands their mind a bit, you know what I'm saying. And I haven't really heard of too many people who are addicted to psychedelics. So you know what I'm saying, it's like it's not really addictive like that, no more than alcohol and cigarettes.
right,
So why not give it a shot? It's not like, what I'm saying, shit's going to fucking spike. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's legal to grow, chances are people will just be, doing recreational amounts. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think there's any big time, you know what I'm saying, any big time psychedelic drug bust. You know what I'm saying? That's not what you hear about. You hear about fucking the hard stuff. You hear about fucking cocaine bust, meth lab bust. You know what I'm saying? You don't really
right.
hear about, oh, this man was growing mushroom. We had to kick his door in and shit. This nigga was doing yoga. Like, no,
And
no.
I
So
mean, I'm
I'm
just
like, no.
looking, I'm just breezing past a few articles, and it's kind of just a lot of this stuff is saying pretty much, psychedelics might decrease crime rates for
Yeah,
all
it
we
would
know.
because
Like,
it increase mind space, and they have something called ego death, where if you take something, it has to be very powerful. You have to
right,
take like a very powerful amount, and then when someone has like ego death, usually, you know what I'm saying, they'll damn near do like literally like no crime because you know like a lot of it is fueled by ego, you know what I'm saying? And if you know what I'm saying, like you manage to shed that, you know what I'm saying, certain things don't seem as important
Right,
because like everybody who's into like doing like not per se particularly doing drugs, but you know, being the dope man, the salesman, you
right,
know, it's not particularly about the money. You know what I'm saying? It's probably what, maybe like ten people who actually, you know, got rich off drugs. It's about the
right.
lifestyle. It's a rush. You know, they're doing this, they're doing that. They're hanging out with entertainers or strippers
Hmm.
and stuff like that. It's a lifestyle kind of thing. They get a rush from that. But if you know, if you shed your ego, you know what I'm saying, you live more of a humble kind of life. I'd say a non drug related example of this would be monks. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you wouldn't really say a monk has an ego like that. No, he spend his time, he pray, he may water a garden or something like that. And you know what I'm saying? He just live life humbly because that's all they do. All they do is meditate and you know change their mind.
Let's see. I mean, this article has even got a news guard stamp of approval on it. So and it's from a Science Alert. Hold on, let me pull it up so you can see it right here. And it says psychedelic drugs appear to make people less likely to commit crimes. See, psychedelics have recently made headlines for their potential to treat illnesses such as depression and cluster headaches, and now a new study has found that drugs such as magic mushrooms, LSD, an active ingredient in peyote may potentially offer a way to prevent violent crimes. Let's see, 13
Yeah,
years
that's what
data.
I was.
Dang, and they
That's,
and they did a long one too. They did a long study. They looked at 13 years worth of data. They looked at over a decade's worth of data, almost half a generation's worth of data to
yeah,
come to that conclusion.
that's what I'm saying, and I'm like, Colorado didn't really make the stride, and if you know what I'm saying, like when I finally like draft, you know what I'm saying, my little short paper for David Scott, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, he would take it in consideration. You know, like ideally it's legalized, but I'm gonna start off with saying, you know, looking to legalize, but you know, if that's asking for too much, you know, at most decriminalize it, you know, change it from its current schedule to a lesser schedule,
All
to a
right.
lesser on the
I
drug
think I
list.
think any drug that they just have kind of randomly put up there with cocaine and meth and crack, they did that because like and
Nixon, motherfucking
this is one
Nixon.
of the times where you know how they try to blame everything on racism. This is one of the times where they legitimately said that they wanted to oppress blacks and hippies. This came out of these people's mouths. Now, if anybody on the right wants to disprove it, go ahead. Send me a link. You know, hit me up. My DMs and stuff, they're open, and you can at me if you want at Untried Genius on Twitter. But as far as I can tell, it they said this. This is their words, and
I
they
can
wanted
believe.
to oppress these people for being a different voting block than them,
I
and in
can
order to
believe
put
they
them in
they
jail.
they hate them for like how free they were, and
Right.
it's rather unfortunate because generally they're not hurting anyone per se. You know what I'm saying? Like not really. You know what I'm saying? If they overdose on some wild shit, that's one less leech on the system. Sounds a little rough, but hey, you know what I'm saying? If they fucking went out and then you can't revive them, no hospital bill, the taxpayer doesn't get charged. But chances are, you know what I'm saying, they're probably not gonna do that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
why not? Why not? And also, it's fucking shame, bro. That shit's holding on today. And the hippies still won at the end of the day because I seen this one meme. It said the hippies won because weed is legal everywhere and haircuts were illegal.
Haircuts are illegal. Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
Remember
The hippies
the
have
fucking
taken
Texas
it from
salon
us.
owner?
The hippies have taken everything from us. They've defeated us once again.
Exactly. He did all that bullshit just
They
to get
had,
defeated in the end.
and then they didn't have to do anything. They just had to sit and wait. And in 2020, the hippies have won. 2020 is a crazy year, y'all. It's
Yep,
a
the
crazy year.
hippies have won. They just sat in their grass fields and just fucking waited them out.
That's hilarious, man. I could literally just see a whole bunch of hippies just kind of hip hurraying like, yeah, haircuts are legal, weed is legal, at least in
Yeah,
most states. We did it, y'all. We did
yeah,
what we had to do.
they did it.
We did our
Exactly.
jobs. That's that's hilarious. So yeah, all right, man. So I think this will be a good time to try to move on and let's talk about your art a little bit. Let's give you a little hype right here.
It's chill time. Yay. Um yeah, I'm working on an album right now. It's pretty much done. It's gonna be just 4 songs. The only thing that's really holding me at the moment is working on the album art
All
or
right.
whatever. The title of it is going to be called I Think I'm Caucasian. That's gonna be the title. I'm ready to get canceled. That's my goal. I want to get canceled.
And you're gonna be like
Right now I
Griffey
don't
trying to get canceled and it never happened.
I know I don't have a following in general.
All right.
So yeah, my following ain't big enough for me to be canceled. But yeah, that's on like the goal list. I'm trying to get canceled. And only in like one of the songs I really like I try and touch on like a few subjects such as the Great Replacement. They call it a theory, but it's not a theory. It's just about the fucking decline of like the white population or whatever. And it's going to be kind of disastrous. It's going to be pretty disastrous as they fucking shrink. Because in the U.S. and other places too, mostly because they're the fucking food. And to keep it a buck, let's be real.
There's the food.
White people are the food that everybody needs to eat off of. For example, like when I say food, I'm speaking about like money.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, like just how like when a bunch of white people leave, they're like, it's white flight, and then then a
right,
whole bunch of money just leaves the community.
right.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, white people are like the fucking food. So y'all should try not to fucking oppress them and fucking shrink their population. And it
And,
also does relate to actual food too. For
mhm.
example, in Africa, I think it was Zimbabwe that fucking just took the farmer's land and
Right.
then
I know what
ate
you're talking
it
about.
for it. Fucking starved ASAP
Right.
because
And
those niggas they didn't know how to farm properly like the
right.
white people.
And the excuse that Black Americans try to give is that no, Zimbabwe didn't get enough investment. They didn't get enough this and that. But that's those are no
Those are
American, no American knows more about Zimbabwean economics and Zimbabwean history than Zimbabwe itself. So if Zimbabwean historians are telling this story and are saying that no, this is how it happened because Zimbabwe is essentially run by the black people now. They do give the white people some
Yeah, yeah,
reparations
yeah.
of
They're,
a
they're giving
sort.
them some of that now because they want them to come back because they were
Right.
tired of starving. They was like,
Yeah,
please,
and
we
because
made
they're
a mistake.
basically right, and the issue here is, that they're claiming, well, that's because they didn't get, like I said, they're claiming that it's because the black farmers didn't get any investment from the banks. But I feel like if you
Bush.
if you had the initiative to put a coup up and to take land, then you should already have the
You should
skills and
have
the
the
money
capital.
and the
Yeah, you
capital
should have the fucking
to do that
capital to
without,
fucking run that
you should
farm.
have something backing you. Something should be behind you and backing you. If even if it's not from the West, if it's in within your own country, there should be
Exactly.
something backing your interest that would allow you to take that land and make it flourish in the first place. So that means that even if it wasn't that they just didn't know what they were doing, that they didn't get any investment, that means it was a poor decision to take that land without having everything straight in the first place.
Yep. Yeah, them people foolish. Them people foolish. And what breaks my heart is that like the white population decline. It's inevitable because they won't do what they must to sustain it. And the sad part about it is it's not just gonna be, them not having babies. The sad part is I think there will be like a fucking, what they did to the Jews. I think
Like
I
a
think
white genocide. Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah. Yes, I feel there's going to be a white genocide, and I don't want to be alive to see it because it ain't gonna be pretty.
What
That's what
makes you think that?
well, look at what's going on right now with like some of the like the fucking Black Lives Matter people right now. Fucking kill
Mhm.
Whitey, this and that. And then just like talking about said crime stats in general. Like, yeah, we get a white cop who kills an unarmed black man like what, five times a year or
Right.
whatever. We don't want to talk about the
I
fucking
think
blacks
the I
that
think
just
the
kill white
highest
just
is
does.
it is for police violence. For us like that specific stat is something like 16 for the whole
That's what I'm
year.
saying. That's what I'm saying. And then if we just fucking just look at the fucking interracial crime of just fucking black on white, that shit's fucking skyrocket or whatever. And if, it's gonna sound wrong, but if more fucking blacks, like the ignorant kind, take over said politics, they'll just, what I'm saying, just fucking turn a blind eye to it. They'll turn more
Right.
of a blind eye until that shit's just it's just cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to kill whitey. Right now they fucking, they already be fucking with him and shit like
I
that.
mean, they already made it cool for if an officer does their job and protects themselves from someone who literally took
Mm-hmm.
their weapon from them,
Yep.
that they're gonna put a
Yep. That
felony
officer
charge on
goes
them.
to jail,
They're putting a
gets
felony
charged.
charge on him. It's not. It's because to me, it's not the same. It's not the same as the George Floyd case where that officer kept his knee on that man's neck after
Nah, they
being
just the George
asked,
Floyd. That
even
shit
being
was terrible.
asked, "Hey, do you think maybe we should get up off of him now?" After being told by people in the watching, "Hey, get up off him." After the man is yelling, "Hey, I can't breathe." After all
That,
that, that's
that,
one
that
thing.
shit that shit struck me. Like
That's
I
one.
normally, what I'm saying, I fucking like look past this because it usually be like some bullshit they be ducking. But I watched that whole video. I'm like, there's no denying this one. It
Right.
ain't no form of denying.
He
And
used to go to.
I think it was personal because
Right.
like I've heard that them niggas used to work together
Yeah, I
once
heard
upon a
that
time. And
too.
I'm like, that was personal. That
Yeah,
was
I
personal.
keep hearing that too, and I don't. I have yet to verify that. I have yet to verify whether or not it was actually a personal vendetta, and that's one thing that if that's true, then there's no way to really there's no getting off from that. That should be a guilty plea. That should, but the issue is that now we have to make sure that this jury does right, you
You
know,
know
because
if
the
he fucking get off, then the riot's gonna come back. The riot's
oh,
gonna come back when he
well,
get
they
off.
technically never stopped because Antifa's still at it. I mean, that's
Man,
the thing.
I can't stand
Black Lives
fucking
Matter, and that's
seeing.
another thing. If you want to talk about Black Lives Matter and what
Yeah,
they've been
Antifa
doing
has
lately,
hijacked
Black Lives
protests.
Matter, I think you could say that they were in the riots, but they weren't causing the riots. They were the
The riots
scapegoat of
all The riot was all Antifa. I don't want to hear nobody tell me otherwise. What had happened was there's your Black Lives Matter people providing a meat shield, if you will, and then
right,
it's like a few sprinkled Antifa members like, hey man, throw this shit over there, and then
right.
some people going
Set
for
the
it.
bricks on the path, and that's the
Yeah,
thing.
I
And
seen that shit too. I'm about to say that's weird, bro.
that was
These
my
set up
thing.
bricks.
That was my thing that I said is that even if it is Antifa, the fact that Black Lives Matter was right behind Antifa like sheep tells you how disorganized their movement is because
Yeah,
they
like
they
I was gonna say, man, I encourage like all the black people. If you care about the actual validity of the movement, just fade off the streets just for a little bit.
right,
Just fade off because right now all you're doing is you're providing cover. You're providing cover for them to do bad deeds and
right,
all this whole mandated mask. That's extra cover. Everyone's
right,
face is covered, and
right.
it's cool within the law.
because
So
and
yeah,
it's making it look like because the thing is when people look at people in mass
mm-hmm.
rioting, they still just see criminals, even though they know that masks are right
Yep,
now
masks
people
are a part
shouldn't be
of what
wearing
we're supposed to
masks,
be doing.
right? And it's
Yep.
and speaking on this mask and this big bad evil, you know,
Kung
thing that shall
Flu,
not be named,
China
just so that
virus,
we can don't say those
Corona
words. Come on, man.
Chan.
I'm trying to keep this YouTube monetizable.
Yeah, you don't have a big enough following for that,
Hey, look,
Bucko.
look, 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 look.
Way
I'm
to go.
keeping this YouTube monetizable. But
Bruh.
regardless,
Bruh.
speaking of it, I'm gonna have to cut it out now. Speaking of it, the fact that these epidemiologists won't just come out. Actually, Fauci has come out once and said
Hey man,
these
those masks were
protests.
actually a bad
No,
idea.
no, he's saying that these protests are a breeding ground. But now the media and medical personnel, everybody. Oh, every state has a 10 times growth in coronavirus. Every state has a 10 times growth in coronavirus. Some are lagging behind. And they're trying to say, well, other countries don't have growth. Well, other countries are lagging right now. So once the time lag ends for these other countries in about a week or two, we'll check back with them and see whether or not they have growth because these protests are causing the growth, not reopening these protests. Because and I think what's happening is the protests because the thing is Georgia's numbers were consistently lowering. Day to day, week to week, they were consistently lowering up until the point that these protests started. So it has to be.
Also, on that note, let me just stop you for a second. Like, can we just talk about like the protest just for a split second? How about like the shit happened with him kneeling on his neck and all of that other shit happened in other states? How the fuck did this protest just goddamn spread to every other fucking state in the country? How did that shit work, bruh?
I
How?
think that it was a concerted effort by some group behind the scenes having like let's say because think about it
Hear the
we're
white
we're
people
so
speak
connected
for
we're
us.
so connected
White
now,
folks say.
right, that it would be so easy for if even if you just have one person in each major city in each state, right? So just a 50-person group, and that
Mm-hmm.
50-person group comes together and they say, "Hey, they put on a protest in Minnesota. Maybe we should go ahead and put on protests in every state." And guess what? People that have given me testimony about how they got into the protest literally just said, "I saw a flyer, I went." You saw a flyer, you went. That means you could easily be somebody's pawn in the game, and that's the thing. But the thing the thing is, the internet and I wouldn't discount it being a thing where they got people from other countries to do it too, because it's real weird that those protests started
Yeah,
spreading in France and England,
yeah.
and
That shit was crazy too
it's
because
it's it's not normal,
yeah, that was freakish to me when other countries allegedly joined in the
right?
protests,
Yeah,
like the fucking UK and shit. And I was like, first of all, like y'all niggas don't even have this problem. Like, you
right.
know what I'm saying?
They're
That
not.
whole
They have it because
it's
a
not.
French person not too literally last week was killed in the same way as George Floyd last week.
Um,
Now that's not saying it's on the same level as ours, but
that's
the
what I was saying. I'm
militarization
about to
of the
say,
state is everywhere. The evil state is everywhere, and that's the thing. And the thing is, this French person was white, so it has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with bigotry. It has everything to do with cops thinking that they have more power than they do. The militarization of the state. But if we keep framing it as racism, and that's why I can't back Black Lives Matter right there. Is that we got the same we looking at it's like two doctors looking at the same a person and they diagnose the same disease but then try to give them different medicine for the same disease. Now, one medicine is gonna work, but it might have ramifications for the for that person's body into the future. The other medicine will work and it'll keep them clear. So if we keep going on this anti-white crusade, it's gonna have negative ramifications for us in the future. To where
Oh
we
yeah.
we might
Really want to
we
talk
might
about the small section that'll fight back. Nigga,
right we might end up in a
you'll really
fight.
see
We
racism
might end
then.
up in a battle, and it's not gonna look good.
Yeah, I keep hearing Civil War this, Civil War that, but hold on, before I get into that, I just wanted to say, like, I'm not saying like the UK might not have any problems, but all I'm saying is shit ain't nowhere close to what the hell we got going on because their history is different. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Because their history was different, they shit just their society changed. It changed a different way.
right.
What was the subject we was just talking about? I lost it.
You were saying Civil War this, Civil War that.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people saying Civil War this, Civil War that. If you black, I advise you to fucking de-escalate that as much as you can.
Right.
You don't want to see that, dog. Like that'll be an
And
extermination.
I
It'll be an
mean the
extermination level event. It's not
I
gonna be
think
pretty.
I think well my thing is the intolerant left. It's just gonna be honestly I think that as long as we're smart, which some of us aren't, but if we get smart and don't get involved and let the intolerant left eat the left, and then when they get ready to battle the right, they're gonna lose because the intolerant left versus the right in a in a in a
It'll be
physical
a
battle
lot.
in a physical battle,
It's a
the right will
wash.
win. In the battle of ideas, the left might win. Only because the right is so afraid right now,
They're
so afraid
afraid
to
they're afraid to cancel people. I put it like
right.
that. Like
They're afraid to
like they
pop
don't.
off.
Yeah, they don't use the same tactics the left use against them because of
Mhm.
their principles or whatever. Like the left be fighting dirty, they're like, I'm not fucking with so and so. So they attack your income. They be like, hey PayPal, this racist person using your service. I'm gonna need you
Right.
to end their account. They do shit like that. I heard fucking Chase Bank did some shit like that.
And they
Where
and somebody made a good point. I can't think of who it was right now, but they made a good point that the right went for the bag. They went and got the bag. It's kind of like a story of two siblings, right?
uh
The right went and got the bag. The right became entrepreneurs and good and made money and got the banks and so on stuff, right?
mhm.
But then the left got the mines. They took the colleges, they took the institutions, they took the schools,
Media, nigga. The
they took the
media has
media, right? They
frozen.
took the media, and as a result, now the left has the culture, while the right might have the money,
No, 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 no,
but
no, 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 no.
it won't matter because the left has the culture.
I'm gonna disagree with you right there. I'm gonna say the right has the culture. Anything like as far as like creative freedoms and like memes and shit like that, the fucking right has it because they have freedom of expression. The left is abandoning the freedom of speech because they call it, they always trying to say something is offensive. Therefore, they can't really make anything original like that because they say, nah, that's going to be hurtful. This is going to be hurtful. So ideas and culture stuff isn't really allowed to flourish on the left.
But the
It's really
culture,
like a go. You said what?
but I would say that the culture itself is a PC culture. That's what, especially online, and honestly, it might be inflated online, which is why we see it so heavily because it's inflated online. But in real life, it might not be as bad. And I can say that for almost any issue that our issues are being inflated online now because we're so
Yeah, yeah.
connected.
anything online is just fucking it's hyper the information highway and like how you said that like we could change things if you know black people we could like avoid a civil war if black people were to wisen up, but I don't see it coming because of the thing you told me earlier about how you said how some people just fucking seen some shit online. They just seen a flyer online about a protest and they just walked their happy ass over there. Because there's so many people who would just do some shit like that. That's why
Hmm.
I'm saying I'm like I don't think the blacks gonna be saved because we got too many of them who would just be like, yeah, nigga, I'm with this shit. Just like the fucking black squares. Remember the black squares? Yeah. That
Hmm.
ain't have shit to do with Black Lives Matter. I heard that shit was started by the music industry.
That I don't know, but the black scares is a funny thing because they were getting on people for posting one, then going about their daily lives. Then they were getting on people for not posting one. Then they were getting on people for posting one, not putting enough. Then they were getting
Yeah,
people
I
for
saw one lady got one celebrity. They was like mad at her because she posted too many black squares. I'm like, bruh, you just can't fucking win, bro. What the hell going on?
you can't win with these folks, man. And it's funny because now I really think we're in a phase where since we're in this and the thing is it's popping off like this because we're in this election cycle. Yeah,
Yes,
we're in a
yes,
phase, and
yes.
and it's manufactured, it's fake because it's
It really
outrage, it's
is.
hatred,
It's because it's
it's
what you call it? It's being funded. It's being funded by outside sources. And
right,
then after this election ends, the people funding all these buses to other cities and all of that crazy shit, that
right,
funding's gonna stop because it's no longer election season.
right. Somebody told me that they saw a Craigslist ad for like a riot, like to where like it was like $25 an hour.
Bro,
You go out and you just destroy whatever you can, do whatever you want.
bruh,
And I was
swear,
like, bro,
swear to
just go
easy.
in, let everybody else do the work, get you a little PS4 and
Nigga,
mob
if I
out.
see that, bro, that shit gonna sound wrong as hell, nigga. I would be there. I would be there, bro. If them niggas like, yeah, bro, we gonna direct deposit you this shit right now. Go fuck it up, nigga. Mask on, bro. I would have been out there, mask on.
I don't know, man. That's crazy to me. I think it's insane. I
It's
can't,
insane.
and that's the thing. I can't support like if it was just straight, if Antifa didn't take over these protests, which some of the protests are going really well, and when I see those in the news, excuse me, I
Yeah,
like them,
how
and
it's
I like
right.
what I
Fight a
see,
good fight.
and I'm hoping to start putting together an initiative soon to where I post the good stuff just as much as I post the bad stuff, because I want people to see the good stuff. I want people to see that yeah, these some of these protests are going well. Some of these people are, but I also want people to see both sides of the information that they're not receiving because like I seen a post today talking about oh well, you'll go find a black person who disagrees with the protest or who disagrees with the situation, and try to use them for posturing, but then you won't read the books of the black people who do agree with the situation, right? And I said, okay, well, and then I just put a comment on there saying, hey, so what about the books of the people of the black people that never agreed with this, that were never on with this, because there's the top black economists on the planet are all like anti this identity politics. They're all anti this crazy stuff that's been going on. They've never been for it. They've never been for um, getting something for your race, or they hate the welfare state. They don't like that
Man, you
stuff.
open up a new can of worms, bro. You
They
open up a
don't
new can of worms, bro.
But it's funny because they're the people like Thomas Sowell and Walter E. Williams. They're the top black economists, and people have never heard of them. These are literally our leading thinkers now. These are our leading thinkers,
Nah,
And
nah, no,
people don't,
no,
and people
they
won't
not,
put,
bro. They following rappers, bro. Those are the people they gonna listen to.
those are
No
not our
shade,
thinkers.
no shade to J. Cole. But if he started talking about it, folks would be behind him before they be behind that person you said.
I don't know because they tried to cancel him not too long ago too. Because he had to put some bars about a black woman in his latest single, and so they thought he was talking smack to her, even though he called
That
her a
is so
queen,
bullshit.
even though
He
he
was
called her a
looking up
queen.
to her.
Right?
I
He
heard
was
about that
he
song.
was telling her, "Hey, educate me, but educate me right, because the way you trying to educate me right now, it's not gonna work. That's real, you know."
Man, I heard about that song, man. People dumb, bro. He was saying he looked up to her. He was saying people think I'm smart and I got PhDs and this and that. He said I just put my ears to the street and listen to my queens. Like, bruh, like man, I
Right.
hate niggas, bro. Man, niggas just be misinterpreting the whole. Damn, bro, it's a
That's what they
shame.
do, bro. That's what people do, man. If they can find malice, if they can find evil somewhere, they'll exploit it. This is horrible because that he had good intentions and he really, and as long as he doesn't apologize, I don't care what he does.
Yeah, bro.
'Cause
We gotta stop all this apologizing, bro. We gotta stop all this forcing people to apologize, bro. Like once upon a time when Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars or Emmys or some shit like that, them
right,
niggas was like, "Hey man, we need you to apologize for these gay jokes." And truth
right.
was, he had already apologized for
That's
it a long time ago. They was like,
wow.
"No, apologize again,"
That's that
and
I
he was
didn't
just
know.
fuck it.
I
I
did not
got
know
some
he had
respect for him
apologized
for saying
before.
fuck it.
I mean, my thing is, if I was him, I would have just told him to get on and just host it anyway.
They
Ain't
did.
no way I would have
I don't
gave
know
up
what
my
actually
drinking
happened.
because
I don't
he
know what actually happened
ended up
that day,
not
bro.
hosting him
They got to fill in.
because he gave the spot up. But if I was him, I would have just told him no. I would have just ignored them and kept moving because at this point with the council culture, you can't kowtow.
Can't
You
appease them.
can't
You can't
can't
appease the
right
mob.
because they won't. Because the thing is, the mob, like Griffey said, the mob will literally beg you to apologize. They will push you to apologize just to tell you that your apology wasn't sincere.
Yeah, yeah, them
They
niggas
will force
hell.
you to apologize just so you can know, hey, guess what? That apology, we don't accept it. It's not sincere,
Like,
even though they
you'll never
forced you
win.
to.
You'll never win. It's not until we get more and more people to just say, "Nah, we not finna apologize." The more people we get to do that, the less power they have. Right
Right,
now, people and advertisers don't know. They aren't aware that you'll never win. You know what I'm saying? Right now,
right,
advertisers, like it's the popular thing to do. It's falling out of favor now, but it's the popular thing to do to, what I'm saying, be like, oh, we're sorry, we're this, we're that, we're for the alphabet people and all of that. But it's slowly falling out of favor because you try and do something for them and then they fucking hate it. Like for example, Skittles, right?
yeah.
Yeah, to celebrate the homos, they took the rainbow off their
The
packaging.
homos, come on, man. I
Hey
gotta
man,
challenge you on that.
it
I
is
gotta
what it
challenge
is,
you on
dog.
that.
You know,
I
what
mean,
it is. What I say.
they people are people, man. But
Hey, I dislike
I
the
did see the
homo.
Skittles bag. I did see the Skittles bag that you talked
Anyway,
about.
they took the color off and it's all white Skittles, and they're mad about that because they're like, all white Skittles? Are you serious? That's like white supremacy. And I'm like,
That I
damn,
did not
bro,
see. That
you
I did
really
not hear
can't
about.
win.
Nah, I gotta see if I can find an article for that one, because that is actually like real. If that's true, that is a really silly set of outrage to have.
Bro, people
Um,
just be fishing, bro. People just be fishing for shit, bro. You can just look up fucking Pride Skittles and outrage. It probably won't be that exactly, but you'll probably find something along the lines.
let's see, LGBT white Skittles for Pride
Yep.
Month. spark criticism.
You can't fucking win. They did that
And
just to show
when
solidarity and they donated.
solidarity.
You can't win, bro. You
Oh
can't
my.
win with them
Let's
folks.
see. Not everyone on the internet is pumped that Skittles went white for Pride
Fight
Month.
Pride Month. You can't fucking win.
A bag of
Hate these
candy has
folks.
become the unlikely focus of an internet debate. Skittles, the official taste the rainbow candies, ditched its signature rainbow of candy colors in favor of all white appearance for one reason: to honor June Pride Month for the second year in a row. The Skittles are white this month because, as the message on the back of the limited edition new bag puts it, during Pride,
During
only
Pride
one
Month, only
rainbow
one
matters.
rainbow matters. So we've given up ours to show support.
Since March. For some, the white bag and the white only coating on shelled fruity treats was considered a misstep that raised the issue of exclusion. Critics took to Twitter to share what they felt about the new direction was inadvertently tone deaf rather than supportive. Skittles realized how white capitalist pride was becoming and wanted to join in the efforts. Interesting.
See, see, people just upset about anything.
That makes no sense. How do you it? Like people don't look at motive anymore. I think is the issue. They just
They
they
don't.
look at the act and they say this is wrong because I can attribute something to it. But they're literally saying we don't want to have a rainbow because only one rainbow matters.
They don't care.
Others
Oh
shared
yeah.
they
Oh yeah.
love to send my brand new bag, finding a positive public relations move. People are hating on the LGBT pride Skittles because they are white, but I love them so much. What a strong statement to make about equality. I like how Skittles gave up their rainbow for pride. It's quite subversive and humble. There's some people that's liking it though. That's good. That's some
Yeah.
people. That's. It's nice to see that there's some people who are still kind of level-headed out here. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I wanted to bring something up. It's along these lines. You know how like right and left, I like to call it a circle, right? Like
Mhm.
they're both on a circle. And if you swing too far one way, you end up on the other side. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. You swing too far right, then you say, nah, you start censoring stuff that's against the will of God and stuff like that.
Right.
And then if you fucking swing too far left, you become racist on accident. You heard about how they're saying Uncle Ben's and Aunt Jemima is canceled because it's racist.
Right.
So they're trying to say, all right, we need to remove these black people from this packaging because it's racist. So to combat that racism, you're gonna take a black person off the box.
Fox, right. Hold on, let me see. I didn't hear about Uncle Ben's. Uncle Ben's. Why was Uncle Ben's removed? What? Because the reason they gave for Aunt Jemima was that they were saying that she was a part of the mammy stereotype for
But the funny thing is, she don't even look like fucking a caricature. She looked like a regular black lady. That's the thing.
yeah, and
I could
it's
exactly like I think it's just like fucking fuck it. White people don't know what the hell black people look like. Keeping it a buck. Man. So
right.
they see anything that's not European, they're like, ah man, that shit can't be right, bro. People ain't supposed to look like that. People ain't
Here's
supposed to look
another
black.
one. Here's another one. Uncle Ben's brand will evolve following Aunt Jemima's removal. And by the way, speaking of Aunt Jemima, I'm gonna let y'all know now. If it's not a black lady on that bottle, I don't want it. Why would I
Oh,
stop? Why would I stop using Aunt Jemima when I've been using Aunt Jemima for 22 years? I've been using Aunt Jemima since
that's
before I
what I'm
was
saying,
born.
bro. Aunt Jemima is in my kitchen right now, bro. I got that scissor.
Exactly. My mama was using Aunt Jemima when I was in the womb, bro. And you think all of a sudden now I'm gonna stop because she supposedly is a part of a stereotype that existed over 80 years ago? No, over 100 years ago now. Why would I care about that? That's
She
ridiculous.
don't even embody it. Like
And
I seen like the old logo, and it was just like a rather plump looking black lady with a scarf on her head. And I'm like, nigga, that's just a regular black lady in the projects. Like, what's the problem?
and
Hell,
that's
not in the
just
projects. It's
it's
fucking
like and the thing
Walmart.
is it's like the stereotype that they tried to say was so evil, was so bad, was literally like the stereotype of like the hard-working black mom. That's an
Yeah,
evil
come to think
stereotype.
of it, yeah.
I don't understand where do you like it are all so it's the moral here that all stereotypes are bad now because
Yeah.
like even like good even there
But
are some stereotypes that we see as good like Asian stereotypes for instance that we see as good that they see as bad that they see as detrimental to them because they're a little bit smarter than that they understand that excuse me that stereotypes can hurt you right
yeah.
but beyond that, it's kind of like one of those mindsets where if there's a stereotype that literally just says, hey, black women are hardworking and they take care of their families, is that a negative stereotype? Let's take a look at this article, man.
All
Mars
right. That's
said
me.
Wednesday it would evolve the visual brand of its Uncle Ben's rice, which features the likeness of a black man, just hours after Quaker Oats announced that Aunt Jemima brand, long decried as a racist caricature,
Oh
would be.
wait, hold on. Okay, you heard that right? Quaker Oats, but there's no problem with him. There,
Right.
that nigga
No
ain't
problem
getting
with the
removed. Something's up.
with quite
Something's up.
literally a stereotype of a
Yes,
Quaker man, a Quaker.
yes.
Like people that actually still exist, Quakers still exist. The same way, like, cause the same way we should remove the Indian from the Redskins, as they say. Why hasn't there been a push to remove the Quaker from the Quaker Oats?
Exactly. Like, come on, man. If you're gonna do one, do them all.
Do them all.
Do them
Yeah,
all. Don't.
and that's the thing. And that's the thing. Like when people say stuff about Trump and how they don't like Trump, the one thing I can say about Trump is that he is an equal opportunity offender.
I hate that like people always be trying to say, "Oh, Trump racist, he this and that," and I'm like, how bad? I haven't heard him say anything inadvertently bad
Right.
about black people.
Right.
And watching what he's doing in the office, all he do is
His
be trying to
policy.
work with black
And
people.
that's the
That's
thing.
all he been.
His policy says it all. And
That's
I was called a
exactly.
coon. I was called a coon for trying to say that no, he isn't a racist. They try to say, oh well, there's a whole list. They sent a list to me of the racist things he did done, right?
Oh,
And I literally went through
let's
the
see.
like they sent a video, like a YouTube
Uh-huh.
video from like MSNBC of the racist things he's done. And I went through that list one point by point and showed them how each one of those things was either a lie or misconstrued
Yeah,
easily.
the one I heard was what you call it, that Trump refused to rent to like black people in like his hotel or apartment complex or
Right.
something. And then
Now
I
that's
watched
stuff in the past.
I
I'm
watched the
talking
video
about during
by
his
it,
presidency. But the stuff in the past that they're talking about, most of those are claims, right? So to
yeah,
me, it's kind of like unless you can put put some proof on those claims, other than just oh well somebody said oh he got
yeah.
sued. Yeah,
Man,
but
fuck that.
anybody
You
can
can
say
sue
and
for
sue,
anything.
right?
You heard
Anybody
about the
can say and sue.
fucking is this like one weirdo nigga who tried to sue Twitch because he was being shown too much sexually suggestive content.
Nah, I didn't
Like
hear
you can
about
sue
that.
for you can sue for anything. He's not gonna win. He just be doing this shit just cause. But yeah, fucking it's like some YouTubers did videos on it. Just like look up it was like for like 25 million or something like that. Look up man tried to sue Twitch just for nonsense. So yeah, you getting sued don't really mean shit considering like America is sue happy. So that don't really mean shit. You can sue anybody for anything.
All right. I mean, America is very so happy. Like, did you ever find any evidence for or against those claims that they make against him? For as like him not allowing black people or because I think
Oh,
he
yeah,
did actually lose that case from what I heard. I think he actually did lose that case.
I was gonna say about like the video I watched. The dude who did a video about it. He said it was not because they were black. It was because they were on like Section 8, and you know what I'm saying. If you're on assisted housing, what are the chances you're going to what I'm saying be like renting properly? That's like
So
a
it was
credit
because they were
kind of
poor,
thing.
not because they were black.
Yeah, bingo,
Yeah,
bingo.
and
Just think about it.
That
if
sounds
you're
about
on
right.
government assistance, do you really think your credit score is going to be like that high?
Hmm.
Not really.
And guess what? You're gonna make a lot less money off somebody who's on government assistance
Oh,
than
oh
you would
yeah.
off of a regular tenant.
Niggas gonna be trying to haggle you down and all types of shit. It just ain't the move.
Right. And that's the thing. They don't, even if that's true, let's see if we can find something here to substantiate that claim. Um I said what year was it? The
I don't fucking know. You can just type in
Trump
like Trump refused to rent to.
refused to rent to blacks. Let's see. No vacancies for blacks. How Trump got his start. Political. Let's see. Trump apartments, race discrimination probe in the 70s. Uh-huh.
Do Control F and then type in like welfare and like try and like find like assisted living. Like see if you can find those keywords.
No. You know how they do. They gonna hide that information.
Yeah. Bastards.
Let's see. Oh, we didn't do what we didn't do was rent to welfare cases, white or black. That was Trump's word from his book. Trump denied
Well,
any racial discrimination, but said his managers tried to weed out certain kinds of tenants. What we didn't do was rent to welfare cases, white or black, and it could just be easily that those people happen to be on welfare, and they saw it as a racial issue.
yeah,
And because people
yeah,
do it all, they
that
do it
is
now.
true.
Why wouldn't they do it in the 70s? You know.
Yeah, and generally, well, poorer people, what I'm saying, they tend to be, on the dumber side. Not always, but usually if they're poor, what I'm saying, they're less educated. We ain't talking about school
And
educated
and
either.
the thing
School be
is,
capped.
they ended up basically settling that. So they didn't lose. What they did, they settled. They settled the case
They
and
settled out of
said
court, so that
they settled
means
the
they ain't
case.
even
No,
really
they didn't
have no
settle out of
case
court.
like
They
that.
settled. What they did is they settled with the government, with the FBI, to
Bro,
say
what?
that hey, we won't. They settled with the government. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the screen right now. Let me scroll back up to the top. Get rid of this. Scroll back up to the top. Look, the FBI releases files on Trump apartments, race discrimination probe in the 70s. It was about 400 pages. Let's see. They report it was on the website. It concludes an interview with a former doorman. The supervisor told me that if a black person came to and inquired about apartment for rent, and that he is was not that he is was not there, that is redacted, was not there
At the
at the
time that
time.
I should tell him
That the
that the
rent
rent was twice as
twice as
much
much
that
as
it
it
really
really
was.
was, in order that he could not afford the apartment. Now, that's the thing. I don't know this doorman's motivation, so it's hard to say if the doorman is telling the truth or
His
not.
name not even in that bitch though. So
Right.
can we really?
And so the thing with the doorman is okay. Yeah, let's say the doorman is telling the truth.
Uh huh.
What if it was just that one manager?
Yeah, yeah, that is something
What
to
if it
think
was
about.
just a racist manager? And but we don't, but as soon as it's because the Trumps own the hotel, it's the Trump.
They
It's
just
not the
blame it on
manager.
him, yeah.
Right. It's
And
Trump.
also, I want to point out something funny. Like you did the control to find, and you see it's really at the very bottom of the article
All
where
right.
it said where it actually provides the proof. So somebody might get exhausted
To
reading
welfare
from the top.
cases.
Exactly. They made sure it was all the way at the bottom.
Right. And so, I mean, I don't know if this clears his name, but it does make you think a little. It doesn't say, oh well, he definitely didn't do it. but it does make you think a little because there's too many different pieces in play here to say, hey, yeah, we he definitely discriminated.
And let's just drop the ball and let's say he did. Let's say Trump did discriminate this one time. He ain't exactly, you know what I'm saying, like too different. In fact, he's like kind of less bad than some of these entertainers or, some of these politicians, who have done actual really racist things. And
Right.
also people can change, you know what I'm saying? Like people can change over time.
They
Like
can.
so yeah, like
But I
y'all
mean,
forget
I
other
would
people.
I would say we that in today's age they don't care about that, man. They coming after people for stuff 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
that's
care about this 50-year-old lawsuit, you know?
Yeah, that joint,
So
that joint having me blowed, whatever. When people show up with 30, 20-year-old accusations, I'm like, bruh, you go home. Like, what are you doing? Like, the case is so long ago. Like, there's so little evidence of anything. Like, you can't even find anybody to be cooperating the story because it was so long ago.
all right,
And
right.
also, people have like whatchamacallit, like selective memory
Memory,
to
yeah.
try and remember things differently than there was. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Like the best example that a lot of people do is people like to say, shit ain't like the good old days. And then like if you actually look up the good old days, it wasn't too fucking good at all. Like shit was
They weren't
bad.
very good
Yeah,
and they weren't
yeah.
very old days either.
Yeah, exactly. Like, nah, you look back, they're like, school was great back then. It was glorious. Come to find out, nigga, ass
Had
whoopings was completely legal back in the old days. Like, no.
and they had rips in their books and shit,
Yeah,
bro. And it's
torn up ass, raggedy ass books. Like, no, shit was not as popping as they tried to make it out to be.
man, that's crazy, man. All right, man. I think it might be time to go ahead and start getting this wrapped up soon. We running at 140 almost now.
Damn, but that long as hell. Let
Yeah,
me
an hour 40. That's pretty good. It's not it's not a 2 hour JRE podcast, but
JRE experience.
all right, it's not no JRE. It's not no JRE, but you know,
I mean, you a little better than the JRE because you goddamn pull up the little fucking whole shit. When Joe Rogan had tell Jamie to pull up an image, bro, it'd be like a little tiny ass square image. Like, we can't show that.
and I think that's because when you big like that, you can't just be.
Yeah, that is true. You
I
can't
don't
be,
know. Then
can't
that
be
I don't know
pissing off
because
sponsors.
I don't know though because I mean people like Tim Pool
Yeah,
just
he
put it up
he
on the
pull up
screen.
that whole article. He pull up the whole fucking page.
Just put it up on the screen. So I mean, it's gonna be a process, and we're gonna see how it goes. And of course, like I said, any of this stuff that we looked at, I'm gonna make sure that it makes it into the show notes. So I already got a nice little
Put it in the description.
right, and I got a nice little list already. We've looked at 4 different ones so far, and I'm gonna put it at the bottom. I got a list for the little links, and that way people can take a look at them and decide for themselves. Um, Hopefully, my next guest, I'll be able to, get some up where we talk about some. I want to try to get somebody on so I can talk about these disparities in the black ethos and in the black culture, and
Mm.
because I'm real interested in that right now. But I like if there's anything else you want to plug or anything else you want to put up, you can
Um,
go ahead and do that right now.
nothing too much. Just check out my music on Spotify. It's under the name Amazer Beta, AMAZERBETA. It's on Spotify, all that good shit. Um, That's really about it. I got like two music videos I made for two of the songs for Crash Returns and Leaked Nudes. That's really about it. Should do this sometime again on like some current events. Just collect some shit from the week and then
All right,
go to
and we will definitely do it again. And I thank you for being my first guest. So we get this, get it moving for the one time for them, you know.
Black Power.
Right. Yeah, you know how it is, man. You're a controversial figure, so we gonna get you out there. It's
For
all
sure.
right. All right, man. I'll catch you later. Thank you for being on.
No problem.